In this section, we'll train you in the 3 steps to ideal baling. For consistent density and properly shaped bales, the following conditions must be met. Your tractor's tire spacing must be correct, proper windrow formation must be used, and you must learn proper driving techniques and how to interpret the bale shape indicator bars on your monitor controller. First, your tractor's inside-to-inside tire measurements must be at least as wide as the bale chamber. This will ensure your ability to weave far enough to feed hay to fill both ends of the bale. Refer to your operator's manual for the recommended tire-to-tire dimensions for front and rear tractor wheels and adjust them accordingly. The next step in creating ideal bales with your John Deere baler is to learn about proper windrow formation. There are 2 formations of windrows that are ideal for baling. They will allow you to build bales that are consistent and tight with true cylinder shape and square corners. The first is a windrow that is uniform and the full width of the bale chamber. The second is a windrow that is half or less than half the width of the chamber. There are also several windrow formations that are not good for baling. They will cause uneven, malformed bales. The first is a windrow that is the full width of the bale chamber, but not of uniform density. For example, a windrow that has more hay on the edges than in the center will build an hourglass-shaped bale because there's not enough hay to fill the center properly. The second type of windrow that isn't good for baling is one that is more than half width but less than full width of the bale chamber. It will create a barrel-shaped bale because even as you weave side to side in the windrow, there will always be too much hay being fed into the center of the chamber. Now that you've learned about windrow formations, you've reached the last step to ideal baling. We'll take a look at each of the windrow formations we spoke to you about, learn the proper driving techniques to use with each, and show you how to interpret the bale shape indicator bars. We'll also show you how the bars will react if you bale with the poorly formed windrows. The bale shape indicator bars on your monitor controller receive their signal from bale shape sensors that are measuring belt tension on the baler. As hay is fed into the baler, the belts become tighter and more bars appear. Each column of 24 bars represents the tension on that side of the bale. So if more hay is being fed into one side of the bale than the other, the belt on that side will be tighter and more bars will appear in that column. The first type of windrow for ideal baling is a uniform windrow that is the full width of the bale chamber. Baling this windrow is easy. Simply center the baler over the windrow and drive in a straight line. The bale shape bars should build evenly at the top of the scale and remain there during bale formation. The second type of windrow for ideal baling was a windrow that is half or less than half the width of the bale chamber. Before we begin, please note that weaving back and forth across the windrow should be done quickly in a crisp zigzag fashion to balance crop intake side to side. Weaving too often or too slowly puts too much crop in the center of the bale and should be avoided. Also, the tensioning valve on the 468 and 568 balers, which controls bale density, is set at less than maximum pressure when shipped from the factory. This is to provide for the break-in period of 50 bales. To change the bale density, see Adjusting Bale Density in your operator's manual. It is recommended that the pressure be reset to the maximum after the break-in period. If you're operating at less than maximum bale density or in some crop conditions, the top bale shape bar or bars of the monitor controller may not come on. If you find, after feeding one side as close as possible for several inches of bale growth, that the top bar doesn't come on, then the highest bar that has come on becomes your top bar. If you want to operate the baler long-term at less than maximum density, the bale shape sensors can be adjusted so the top bar of the display comes on. To adjust the sensors, see Adjusting Bale Shape Bar Display Field Procedure in your operator's manual. To bale a windrow that is half or less than half the width of the bale chamber, start feeding the windrow in the center of the baler. Move quickly to one side for several yards, feeding the baler as close as possible to the side sheet without leaving hay in the field. Move quickly to the other side for several yards, feeding the baler in the same manner. Continue feeding this side until the top bale shape bar on the monitor controller display lights or is in the green zone. Avoid baling for an extended period with either of the bale-shaped displays in the red zone. Then, quickly drive to the other side and continue feeding this side until the top bale-shaped bar on the monitor controller display lights. Continue to feed in this manner, weaving from one side to the other and taking one set of bars to the top and then the other until the near full symbol is flashing. Then finish up the bale by getting the bars on both sides as high and as even as possible before reaching full size. Both sides should be in the green zone when finished, and if possible, finish the bale by feeding the left side. This concludes the 3 steps to perfect baling section of our video. Your operator's manual contains more detailed descriptions and diagrams on proper and improper windrow formations, how the LCD bale-shaped bars would appear, and the shape of the resulting bales. John Deere is committed to providing you with the very best in baling equipment and instructional material. If you apply the techniques shown in this video and in your operator's manual, we're confident that you will enjoy years of ideal baling with your John Deere baler. If you have any additional questions, please see your John Deere dealer.